Hello there, morons. It's Victor. Give me a breakman. Give me a flickman. Coming at you, black and white. If you're new to the channel, this is usually a J vlogging channel, but today I'm going to be talking about the gorilla. I also do something called a laundry vlog, which means you don't have to actually watch. I don't expect you to watch. It's like a podcast. You can watch, of course, if you want. Sometimes I do something physical. Oh, this is what I did for fun today for my students. I put this sticker on. I don't know if that's going to focus, but probably not. I put this sticker on my chest. Okay, is it focusing? No. Let's see. How about that? Yeah, there we go. And it says "atsu, atsu," which means hot. Atsu. Yeah, I put it on my shirt, and I said, "Oh man, atsu." It came off I found it on a bottle, a pet bottle, a plastic bottle of tea. Anyway, a couple things I want to clear up today, things that are on my chest. I am so compelled to talk to you guys. So yeah, I want to talk about about the Cincinnati Zoo's decision to kill the gorilla. And honestly, I'm disappointed in many people because, yeah, because I just can't believe, and I know this is the worst thing I can say, but I just can't believe how stupid people are. And I don't say that, I mean, I'm stupid too, but it seems so obvious in this case, so I don't know, man. I haven't had anything to drink yet, but I thought I will be having one can of Strong Zero, as is the custom on this channel, to enjoy one alcoholic beverage. It is May 31st, and tomorrow's tomorrow's June, of course. And every time it's the first of the month, I always feel like, this month I'm gonna really kick some ass, and life gets in the way, Men make plans and God laughs. But anyway, I was talking to Warmoth Strat, or Mully, as you might know, and I was surprised at how strong he felt about this whole issue as well. He seemed really annoyed, upset at how people were reacting about the gorilla. Now, I want to point out a couple of things. I'm where the hell is it? I'm an animal lover. There's a dog in the back there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I used to have a French bulldog. Kind of looked like a gorilla, to be honest. His face, very chimpanzee-ish. And I love that dog. Really, really, really love that dog. And when he died, it just tore my wife and me. We just tore our hearts out. But thanks to him dying, we were finally focused on, well, hell, this isn't the time we had a kid, so we had a kid. So that's great. Little Godzilla, and he's a lot of fun now. So, every window that closes opens up a new window. But the point is, I am an animal lover, and I've often thought of myself as a kind of a dog whisperer. When I see really tough, mean dogs, I'm the kind of guy that goes up to them and, talks to them and makes them respect my authority. And yeah, and I'm pretty good at it. I remember this one really vicious dog in my parents' neighborhood when I was visiting, and the owner came out and said, I stood out there and I just stared him down until he stopped barking, and then he turned over and gave me his stomach, and I rubbed his stomach, and the owner came out and said, "How'd you do that? This dog hates everybody, but he liked me." That's another thing about some of you guys that I don't get, is like, dogs like me. How can you not like me? I'm a kind of guy dogs trust, So anyway, no, I understand I come across a bit gruff and arrogant sometimes. And when I call everyone stupid, I mean, yeah. But there was actually a poll on Twitter today, or I don't know who did it, but there was a poll saying that 85% thought it was unnecessary to kill the gorilla. Now, as much as I love animals, and I've always thought gorillas are just beautiful, the silverback gorilla, I see videos of people going out in wild and meeting them. I always thought, oh, that would be so cool. I really would love to stand there and have a gorilla come over and pet me, and I'd be subservient because those things are incredibly tough. They say, I've seen different numbers, but they're anywhere from 5 to 12 times stronger than a man. But hell, twice as strong as a normal man is enough. And that movie, the Captain America scene where he gets a piece of I don't know if you can see that. he gets a log and he rips it into. A gorilla could actually do that, right? There are reports. Oh, my zipper's down. Just a minute. Whoa, what's my zipper doing down? You'd think I was doing something down there, but no, it just happened to be down. This video is live and unedited, by the way. I'm not going to edit this at all. I'm throwing it up. I got to get up early, but I'm so compelled to talk to you guys. So anyway, a gorilla, they say that this type of gorilla can crush a coconut in his bare hand. So the power here is amazing. Now, everyone, they are known to be gentle creatures, but like a lot of wild animals, they're also known to kill the young of their rivals, right? I mean, that's well documented. Pretty sure in the, I may be confused, but it doesn't matter. That really doesn't really dissuade or take away from my argument. Now here's what bothers me is that I know it's a fucking tragedy that this gorilla was killed. I mean, I understand that, and I agree with you. But why I made that last video, that's doing very well, by the way. I was surprised at how many people are interested in this. Well, the reason I made that video was, because my students were really interested in that subject as well. And what the hell was I going to say? Huh? Oh yes. I was annoyed at the fact that people were actually created a petition to get this woman arrested. The mother of the child who fell in. They want her arrested. Okay. I think that's overboard. I think that's too much, and I think it's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon and trying to feel good about themselves by just signing a petition, and not having all the facts. Because even now we don't really know all the facts, but we do know this: the zoo itself, in retrospect, they say 2020 is hindsight, and a lot of people usually when you use the expression in retrospect, you use the opposite. In retrospect, I was wrong, right? But in this case, looking back at what the zoo did, shooting that gorilla, even now they say, hey, we did the right thing. There's no way we could have avoided this. There's no other way. Now you might be saying, oh, they're just covering their asses because you're cynical sons of bitches. They don't believe people. People can be nice and honest and everything, including myself maybe. But you have to remember that the people who work at the zoo, they probably loved this gorilla. I mean, really loved it. I do have video, but I never put it up. I went to visit the gorilla here in what was that? Shabani. In Nagoya, we have a very famous gorilla known as the Ikemen gorilla. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Ikemen. Ikemen means handsome. And when you want to say you're handsome in Japanese, you put your hands like this and make this kind of frame. Like, look, I'm handsome. Now you have to look at the video for a second. Okay, go back to doing your laundry. So the Ikemen gorilla in Japan, in Nagoya, is called Shabani. And women apparently flock to see this handsome gorilla. He is a pretty handsome devil, I must say. And it's funny. They had this. By the way, if you're a new viewer, this video is all over the place. It's just a train of thought mess. So I was watching a bunch of trainers, physical trainers on Japanese TV the other day, and they were like they were going to bring them out and they were going to show the celebrity guests some good exercises that they can do. And one of them, it seems one of them was in love with the gorilla body, and he's like, "Oh, these gorillas have," because the gorilla physique is like, they're just huge. Their arms are huge, right? Kangaroos, by the way, look pretty. I like to see that kind of fight. A kangaroo and a gorilla. Now, of course, gorilla would destroy kangaroo, but kangaroos are pretty buff too, man. Like, do you even lift, kind of thing? But there's this one trainer who stated that he really loved the gorilla's body and he wished he could attain that physique, But anyway, let's get back to it. So, where were we? The gorilla. Yeah, the gorilla. So, I understand everyone's really upset about this gorilla being killed, but at the same time, I think we're such hypocrites as human beings. Every time you do not send money to poor people in Africa, you're killing children. You are. I mean, I am too, right? This camera that I have a camera that I'm using, and I'm using it, and I also have this Sony that costs $500. That costs like almost $2,000. How many thousands of people, or hundreds at least, or even one? How many people could I have saved? Right? Look at this speaker over here. It cost me $20. I could have saved some people there. We are such hypocrites. All the money that we waste on crap that we have. when we could be saving people, other people. One of the problems with this society, one of the reasons that they say that humanity will not survive is because we are not willing to help our fellow man. And even now, like, I understand we're upset about this gorilla, but the decision seemed obvious, for various reasons. So instead of me talking, what I'm going to do is go to my Facebook, where Mully has linked me to a what do you call it? What's it? He has linked me to a post by someone named Amanda O'Donoghue, who works with gorillas. So I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to comment while we do this, while I drink my strong zero. She says, I'm going to put this in the description or link to it. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to try to clear up a few things that have been weighing on me about the Harambe and the Cincinnati Zoo since I read the news this afternoon. What's wrong with it? I have worked with gorillas as a zookeeper while in my 20s before children, and they are my favorite animal out of dozens that I have ever worked closely with. I'm going to go ahead and list a few facts, the thoughts and opinions for those of you that aren't familiar with the species itself or how a zoo operates in emergency situations. Now, gorillas are considered gentle giants, at least when compared with their more aggressive cousins, the chimpanzee. But a 400-pound gorilla, 400-pound male in his prime, is as strong as roughly 10 adult humans. What can you bench press? Okay, multiply that number by 10. So I can bench press 100 kilograms. This gorilla can bench press 1,000 kilograms. Wow, that's just amazing. Okay. An adult male silverback gorilla has one job: to protect his group. He does this by bluffing. I do that too. Or intimidating anything that he feels threatened by. Gorillas are considered a Class 1 mammal, the most dangerous class of mammals in the animal kingdom. Again, merely due to their size and strength, they are grouped in with other apes, tigers, lions, bears, etc. I don't really understand what a Class 1 mammal is. The most dangerous, okay, I guess it's the most dangerous kind of animal. Shouldn't, like, whales be in there or something? Killer whales? Okay, anyway. While working in an AZA, accredited school, I don't know what that means, American Zoologist Association, I don't know. Keepers do not work in contact with them. Keepers, again, do not work in contact with gorillas, meaning they do not go in with these animals. There's always a welded mesh barrier between the animal and the humans. In more recent decades, zoos have begun to redesign enclosures, removing all obvious caging and attempting to create a seamless view of the animals for the visitor to enjoy watching animals in a more natural-looking habitat. This is great until little children begin falling into exhibits, which of course can happen to anyone, especially in a crowded zoo-like setting. Of course, a lot of people are blaming the mother, but again, there's not enough evidence to determine what happened. The other thing is, when you go to a zoo, of course you got to keep your eyes on your kid. But when you go to a zoo, you have, I think, an expectation that the zoo is pretty safe, that you can go in there and you don't have to worry about your kid falling into an enclosure. You're pretty sure, you think that you don't have to worry about that happening, right? When you go outside in the street, of course your kid can run out and get hit by a car, but when you go to the zoo, you don't expect that to happen. If you go to an amusement park, there are roller coasters and you have to be careful, but at a zoo, you would think, when you're looking at animals, that there's no way when you're standing there with your kid looking at an animal, there's no way your kid can get in there. Sorry. Go back to this. Let's see. Yes, okay. This is great until little children begin falling. Okay. I have watched this video over and over again with the silverback's posturing. I think she spelled that wrong. Posturing and tight lips. It's pretty much the stuff of any keeper's nightmares. And I have had many while working with them. This job is not for the complacent. Gorillas are kind, curious, and sometimes silly, but they are also very large, very strong animals. I always brought my OCD to work with me, checking and rechecking locks to make sure my animals and I remained separated before entering to clean. I keep hearing that the gorilla was trying to protect the boy. I do not find this to be true. Okay, this is a professional talking, okay? And this is not the only professional. Jack Hanna also, he's a professor emeritus of zoology. I mean, come on. That's got to be worth something, right? I remember one of the comments on my video was like, well, you know, he's human. He can make mistakes. Yeah, but so are you. And if you're going to pick someone's opinion, I would pick the doctor. You know, it's like saying, well, doctors can be wrong. Yeah, they can. That's true. But even when they're looking back and examining their decision, they still agree with it. I tend to think that they are right. Anyway, let's see. Okay, here we go. Yes, I keep hearing that the gorilla was trying to protect the boy. I do not find this to be true. Harambe reached for the boy's hands and arms, but only to position the child better for his own displaying purposes. Males do very elaborate displays when highly agitated, slamming and dragging things about. Typically, they would drag large branches, barrels, and heavy weighted balls around to make as much noise as possible. Okay. Not in an effort to hurt anyone or anything, usually, but just to intimidate. It was clear to me that he was reacting to the screams coming from the gathering crowd. Which, yeah, when I was watching the video, I was like, "What? Everyone shut the fuck up. Why are you screaming? You're just going to startle him, right?" And the other funny thing is that a lot of people think they know a lot of shit about gorillas because they saw YouTube videos. It's different, okay? You can learn a lot through YouTube, but come on. You're not a gorilla expert because you watched a bunch of National Geographic clips illegally uploaded to YouTube. Okay, let me see. Harambe was most likely not going to separate himself from that child without seriously hurting him first. Again, due to mere size and strength, not malicious intent. Animals are not malicious. Why didn't they use treats? Well, they attempted to call them off, exhibit which animals hate. The females in the group came in, but Harambe did not. What better treat for a captive animal than a real live kid? And you know, you have no idea what the gorilla is thinking either. It's impossible. It's a completely different language going up here. They didn't use tranquilizers for a few reasons. Harambe would have taken Harambe would have taken too long to become immobilized and could have easily injured the child in the process, as the drugs used may not work quickly enough depending on the stress of the situation and the dose. B. Harambe would have been drowned in the moat if immobilized in the water, and possibly fallen on the boy, trapping him and drowning him as well. Now, in March in Japan, just 2 months ago, a zebra escaped from a zoo and was running wild on a golf course in Japan, and they couldn't catch it, so there, as a last-ditch effort, they tried to tranquilize it, and the poor fucker drowned. And excuse me for I shouldn't be saying the F word so much. Come on, Vic, come on, this is a friendly channel. Anyway, the zebra died. I was shocked. I was thinking, why couldn't someone just jump in the water and save him? But you know, it's once an animal's in the water drowning, it's very hard. It's a huge animal, and gorilla's also very huge, to get in there and get his head above the water. They drown. Tranquilizing, you know, I guess it just it makes it very hard for you to breathe, etc. And if you're in the water, forget it. So, and in this case, they said the Harambe would have drowned in the moat if immobilized in the water, and possibly fallen on the boy, trapping him and drowning him as well. And Jack Hanna, who defended the Cincinnati Zoo's decision, he said, I'm 1,000% behind him. He also said that he is sure the boy would not be alive today if they hadn't done this. So, you know, all we can do is look at that opinion and think, is it sincere? Is he trying to protect his ass? You know, I tend not to be cynical and to take him at his word. Okay, let's see. Many zoos have the protocol to call on their expertly trained dart team in the event of an animal escape, or in the event that a human is trapped with a dangerous animal. They will evaluate the scene as quickly and as safely as possible, and will make the most informed decision as to how they will handle the animal. I can't point fingers at anyone in the situation, but we need to really evaluate the safety of the animal and closure from the visitor side. I'm sure they thought it was safe, but obviously the kid somehow figured a way to get through the barrier. So, not impeding that view is a tough one, but there should be a way. There should be no way that someone can find themselves inside of an animal exhibit. So, in that respect, yeah, the zoo, I guess, is at fault somehow. But you know, it's one of those things like they just never imagined it could have happened. I know one thing for sure: those keepers lost a beautiful, and I mean gorgeous silverback and friend. I feel their loss with them this week. As educators and conservators of endangered species, all we can do is shine a light on the beauty and majesty of these animals in hopes to spark a love and a need to keep them from vanishing from our planet. Child killers, they are not. It's unfortunate for the conservation of the species and the loss of revenue. A beautiful zoo such as Cincy will lose. Cincinnati. Tragedy all around. Okay, and then there's a picture of the girl. I will link you to the picture at least. Her name is Amanda O'Donoghue. Now, another thing that occurred to me, another reason that it was good that they shot the gorilla was that imagine they had killed the kid. Imagine they had, the gorilla had killed the kid, not shot the kid. If they had killed the kid, this would kill this breeding program completely. Or they would have to remove it from the public eye forever. I think Busch Gardens in Tampa has some kind of amazing breeding program for all kinds of animals. I read once that a lot of zoos get their animals from there. But imagine if the gorilla had ripped this kid apart. It would have tainted their image forever as just really, I was going to say the F word again, really dangerous animals. And who knows what it would have done to funding in that area. Maybe people would have thought, well, it's not worth, it's not worth funding because we can't display them because they're too dangerous. And people are not going to want to go see the killer gorilla, or maybe they will. I don't know. But it probably would have had a negative impact on the gorilla. The other thing to think about is that the gorillas these are endangered gorillas, but the gorillas that are in the zoos, and I think there's something like less than 1,000, like 750 or so. I heard Jack Hanna say. From Canada, Mexico. There's somewhere less than 800. Those it's a weird number to talk about because those are not part of the wild population, right? Those are captive gorillas, and in a way, those gorillas kind of don't count because they are being bred to make more gorillas, which will increase the number of gorillas in the future. In a way, they're more valuable, but also not counted, I think. Yeah, I think it's a kind of a weird position they're in. Yeah, I don't know if you see what I'm saying. Like if you kill a wild gorilla out in the wild, well, that's a gorilla that could have by itself made a bunch of babies, right? And carried on and lived a full life. But when a gorilla dies in captivity, well, it is. I'm not trying to discount this. I'm just saying that it's hard to just say, well, an endangered gorilla was killed because this gorilla was specifically. His job was basically to breed more gorillas. So he's out of the picture. He's not going to have that job anymore. So he's basically stopped. But they're going to have another gorilla breed more gorillas. And I'm thinking that since these are programs that actually gorillas that breed in captivity are capable of breeding more because the zoo keepers can keep, this is going to sound strange, but giving them women or giving them female gorillas, I shouldn't say women, that would be weird, giving them female gorillas to breed with. So you can't really count them statistically as part of the entire population of gorillas. They have a special place. So at the same time, like I said, it makes them more valuable, but at the same time, outside of the statistical group of endangered gorillas. Anyway, it's a sad thing that this has happened, and I've got these thoughts about this, and the other weird thing, man, just reading through the comments on my video was just really frustrating. And reading polls that say 85% of people think that the gorilla shouldn't have been killed. There just wasn't any way around it. I don't see why people can't see that. The other thing that I think about is that it seems like recently, someone said this a few months ago, but in the during World War II, 17-year-old kids were being sent to war, and their worries were, am I going to die today? Nowadays, and if someone can find the quote, please link it in the comments. I'll make sure it's okay. Nowadays, we can't even have controversial people go to universities and give speeches because people's feelings are hurt. And I feel like this is part of that. I feel like, I'm sorry to say this, but I feel like our society is full of a bunch of pussies who just cannot who just don't understand priorities and what is really important. If you care about humanity and gorillas and things like that, then do something about it. Donate to conservation groups that help that help gorillas survive, or that help children who are dying all over the world. I think I heard that the number one killer of children. Let me see. Number one cause of death, children, is, I think, diarrhea. Let me see. Accidents and unintentional are by far. Okay, accidents are the number one cause of death. Okay, among children and teens, 0 to 1 year. Okay, babies. 10 leading causes of death. I don't know. Let's see. I thought it was diarrhea, but I can't say. Oh my God, this is a big chart. Unintentional injury, congenital anomalies, unintentional injury. I swear I've only had one of these. I'm just tired. Unintentional injury. Oh, this is by age group. So unintentional. So basically, we're clumsy clowns. Oh, weird. Oh, I should link this. This is terrible. According to age, so until 44. From my age group and up, it becomes malignant neoplasm, which is basically cancer. And the next two groups, malignant neoplasm, and then 65 and over, heart disease. Wow. But children, it's unintentional injury. Yeah, I don't know what these other groups are. Rank, that's number one. Number two is congenital anomalies. Number three is homicide. Number four, malignant neoplasms. This is for children, 1 to 4. Heart disease, chronic low respiratory disease, septicemia, I don't know what that is, benign neoplasms, and perinatal period, I don't know. But gorillas are not in the top 10. So there you go. So accidents, huh? Well, I guess you can't donate money to stop accidents, but I thought it was something like diarrhea. Diarrhea is the second leading cause of... Okay, here we go. Diarrhea, according to WHO, World Health Organization, diarrhea is the second leading cause of death in children under 5 years old, and it is both preventable and treatable. Every year, diarrhea kills 760,000 people children under 5. So for all the people who claim to be, sensitive and they want to help the world, you should be donating to groups that can prevent diarrhea. There you go. That's my rant. One more note about the missing boy to wrap up some things. Remember the missing boy? I made my last videos about that. So here's another ironic thing. A 7-year-old boy goes missing and is probably dead. I hate to say that. And everyone's like going crazy about the gorilla. That's the number one story. It's the same thing all the time. But I'll admit those stories like that piss the fuck out of me too. When I hear about animals suffering. Remember that, I think in Argentina, all these idiots were taking selfies with dolphins, and the dolphin died. And in China, people were holding up peacocks. So Chinese visitors at some zoo were holding up peacocks, and the peacocks died of shock. Shit like that just pisses the F out of me. But let's go back to this. Where the hell was I? What was I about to say? Oh yeah, the boy. So there's a 17-year-old boy in Japan who is missing, and of course people are going crazy, saying the parents are terrible. The news in Japan, I've been reading the news in Japanese. I know the other vloggers are talking about this as well, but in Japanese, the focus has been that the parents have been, and the kid got along really, really well. And there was no signs of domestic abuse at all. Also, again, I've heard, I'm not sure about this, but there was the mother, father, and a daughter. Some people are saying, the parents must have lied. But I think it's pretty hard to get your daughter to lie to the police as well. I mean, one of them would have broke, going to break under questioning, like Joe Pesci would say. So I believe that the parents just, they made a mistake. They thought it was safe, and they miscalculated. But the latest news, this is the fourth day now. The fourth day is ending. They stopped searching today at 4 p.m. because of the rain. But they did find some fresh bear fun, F-U-N, but pronounced fun, which means poop. So there is the fear that, a bear might have gotten the boy. This is a tragedy, either way you look at it. And the father was quoted as saying, "I regret what I did to my child." And yeah, at first he didn't tell the police because he found it embarrassing to ask for a massive search for what happened as a result of a punishment. Okay. Kyoto News Services has said the police are determining whether or not the parents should be charged with child abandonment. So we're going to see what happens there. Yeah. In Japan, if you are truly repentant of your crime, the courts are pretty lenient with you. Apologizing and showing you're sorry for it seems to go a long way in the court when they determine the sentence. So I would imagine a case like this where the parents are obviously, just heartbroken over what happened. That if they are charged, even if they are charged, they'll get a very light sentence. I mean, they're suffering enough, right? Anyway, well, that's my laundry vlog for you. I just wanted to, get that out, get some things off my chest. Oh, a couple. I guess while I'm here, little news things. Hey, look what I got! A micro drone, and it has a camera. So I will be learning how to use this thing. This is really tough to use. I've already tried, and it's really tough. They sell it. They market it as it's easy to fly, even for the novice, and not for the king of the morons, man. It's pretty tough. And I haven't had time. It's been raining, so I haven't had time to take it out because I want to go outside and play with it. But hopefully I'll be able to shoot you some really cool footage in the future, both indoors and outdoors. But anyway, so tomorrow's the 1st. Let's all have a great June. Everyone kick ass. Wake up and be the best you can be. We're all idiots, but we do our best to try to be a little bit less idiotic every day, a little bit less moronic every day. So I will do my best in June as well. And the new thing on this channel is really, I do have some great, by the way, if you're a Patreon member, check out your Patreon feed because a lot of new videos up. The new thing on this channel is a lot of, I'm going to do my best to, is it my wife? I better go to bed. Is to try to just upload more often, even if it's unedited like this. This will be as unedited as possible. Okay, I'm going to have to this file will probably come out in 2 or 3 files. I'll have to put them together, but I'll upload it just like that. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate you. I really do. Yeah, I mean, you're my girlfriend I share with. That's the baby.